Hey everybody, my name is Barry McKnight. I'm the voice of the Trojans, and we are here at Riddle Pace Field on the Troy campus. We know a lot of you are at home and looking for something to do, so we thought we would get coaches and people together from Troy University and read stories for you. We're calling it Reading with the Trojans, and we'll start out with a story. Our first one is called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, by Laura Joffe-Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. Here we go. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he'll probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask you for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in a mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks into the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask for a pair of nail scissors. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep up. He'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the house. He may even end up washing the floors as well. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. You'll have to fix a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl in, make himself comfortable, and fluff the pillow a few times. He'll probably ask you to read him a story. So, you'll read to him from one of your books, and he'll ask to see the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited, he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask you for a paper and crayons. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name. With a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means he'll need Scotch tape. He'll hang up his drawing and he'll stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So, he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it. Here we go again. Again, this storybook is called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. We hope you've enjoyed it. Coming up, we'll talk with Troy baseball coach Mark Smartt, and he'll have a story for you. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Hey Troy fans, head baseball coach Mark Smartt coming to you from the third base coaching box at Riddle Pace Field on the campus of Troy University. As we're all searching for things to do, I hope that I can give you a few minutes of joy today as I read a story from this children's book. The story is called Caps for Sale, which I think is appropriate for a baseball cap. So we're going to read this story and hopefully you'll enjoy the time we have today. See if I can read appropriately here. All right, here we go. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. That's a lot of caps. First he had on his own cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale. 50 cents a cap." That's a good deal. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he. And he walked out of town, slowly, so as not to upset the caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. That's a nice place for a rest, thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First he checked his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very, very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. Uh-oh, that's a problem. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? I think I know. On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap? The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. You monkeys, you, he said, shaking fingers at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, tis, tis, tis. I didn't know monkeys could talk. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, tis, tis, tis. I didn't know monkeys could talk. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his feet and he said, you monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stomped their feet back at him and said, tis, tis, tis. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. Shouted, you monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stomped both their feet back and said to him, tis, tis, tis. At last he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps began flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his cap and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, and then the brown caps, and then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. The end. What a great story about a person trying to peddle some caps and had fun with the monkeys. I hope you've enjoyed the caps for sale story, and I hope you can endure the time together with all the restrictions in place. Please pay attention to all the rules in the world of social distancing, and we'll soon be back together supporting Troy baseball and all Troy sports. Thanks again.